Hello and welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we'll begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Let's follow. Fractional talks between President Gelle and his homologous, the President of Somalia. And on the international scene, a heat wave and forest fires continue to smother in Western Europe and global warming. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, began yesterday afternoon a 48-hour state visit to Djibouti, where, under the auspice of the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, he was giving a warm welcome upon his arrival at the Djibouti International Airport. Members of the government and parliament, including Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, the Speaker of the National Assembly Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamad, and the Minister of Justice, Penitentiary Affairs in charge of Human Rights, and Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon, took part in the official reception of the Somali President at Djibouti Airport. The diplomatic and consular corps associated to Djibouti, including members of the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Somalia to the Republic of Djibouti, also took part in this reception. Then the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and his Somali counterpart, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, reviewed the troops of honor present at the airport. Shifting gears, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the Somali President, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, had a face-to-face meeting this morning, followed by an expanded meeting between the two delegations, where the highlight of the state visit Somali President, who leads a large Somali delegation. The strengthening of bilateral cooperation, the identification of new opportunities for collaboration between the two brotherly countries, but also the continuation of Djibouti's efforts in its role for the peace and stability of Somalia and strengthening the strategic, historical, and cultural partnerships were at the heart of the discussions. In addition to bilateral issues, this extended working meeting also allowed for a discussion of several topics of common interest to the two sister nations. At the end of the face-to-face meeting of the extended meeting between the two heads of state and the two delegations, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the Somali President, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, made a joint statement to the press. Let's follow.
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulih al-amin, Sayyidina wa Habibina Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Maalin wanaagsan, waxa aan ku guda jirnaa socdaalkii rasmiga ahaa madaxweyne Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud.
At the end of the face-to-face meeting of this extended meeting between the two heads of state and the two delegations, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the Somali President, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, made a joint statement to the press. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, in his statement, welcomed his Somali counterpart, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, for this state visit to Djibouti, and he added that the visit of the Somali President is not his first visit. The President of the Republic stressed that the two countries share privileged and historical ties and that this visit comes to strengthen the relations of the two countries. We are here to make a joint statement at the end of the visit of the Somali President to communicate to the public opinion for both countries the purpose of this visit and the review of the relations and cooperation between Djibouti and Somalia. High officials of Djibouti and Somalia took part in this press briefing.
Waan wada shaqaynay, iminkana waan wada shaqaynaynaa. Madaxweyne soo dhawow.
Then it was the turn of the Somali President, Mr. Hassan Sheikh, who in his statement said the following. This is not the first time I come here to Djibouti. For us, the Republic of Djibouti is our benchmark. When we need advice and consultation, we come here to Djibouti to find solutions to the challenge we face because the two countries share a relationship woven by historical and frontier ties. The most beautiful proof of support and major role of Djibouti in Somalia is its participation with the Djibouti Force for the maintenance of peace and stability. This force sacrificed their lives for peace in Somalia. This is the reason and other that the Republic of Djibouti is not for us like other countries. It is more than a partner country. It is a brotherly country. I would also like to thank my brother, the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, for awarding me the medal of the highest dignitary of the Order of the Great Star of Djibouti. I am honored for this distinction. I want to thank my brother, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the brotherly people of Djibouti. In a press conference organized for the two heads of states, different questions were asked to both the President of Somalia and the President of Djibouti. Let's follow. In a press conference organized for the two heads of state, different questions were asked to both the President of Somalia and the President of Djibouti. First, it was the turn of Mr. Hassan Sheikh, who was asked two questions. The first question being, what is the reason of the visit and what was decided in the end with President Ismail Omar Guelleh? In which the Somali President responded by saying, as I said before, when we need advice and guidance on all levels, economic, political, security or otherwise, we come to Djibouti to consult President Guelleh. You should know that the Third Somali Republic was born here in Djibouti. On the other hand, President Ismail Omar Guelleh and I have discussed various topics including the common interests of the two brotherly countries, as well as how to face the challenge together in common agreement that they are the security component and that of economic exchange very close. It was a reminder of the strong points already existing, without there being any notable difference. The second question was, what is the level, if it can be evaluated, of the relations between the two brotherly nations? In which he responded to by saying, and I quote, not only our relations are historical in many ways, but as a Somali diction underlines, no force can deteriorate our relations and no water can wash away them. Thus, it is a strong brotherhood without limit that qualifies our relations from ever in all the fields. It was the turn of the President of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh. It was the turn of the President of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, who got asked one question: what the relationship between the two countries? His Excellency responded by saying, and I quote, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud came to Djibouti both without being and being President of Somalia. We must face together all the challenges while sparing our countries of the sub-region of the joints and conflicts of the political, security, economic level. Therefore, working together to fight against the obstacles that arise together in the basis of our relationship. We therefore are two brother nations that no force can deteriorate and no water can wash away.
Walaalo biyana meedhin berina goynayn wey.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, made a guided visit to his counterpart, the President of the Republic of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, at the Exhibition Center Red Sea World Real Estate Complex of the Future Business Center of Djibouti. Upon arrival, the two heads of state visited the various premises of this exhibition center, which is equipped with the most modern technologies that allows the infrastructure of Djibouti an essential strategic point in this region. Explanation of this high-end platform for the realization of a maximum visibility to the logistics, tourist, and cultural provision of the Republic of Djibouti were given to the Somali President, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. Let us all follow the images of the following visit.
geedku tagaa dadku kala gura garta uu naqaa taladu galana waa lagu gartaa ninka geesiga maxaa lagu gartaa geedku tagaa dadku kala gura garta uu naqaa taladu galana waa lagu gartaa walaalayo markii soo gudo golaha u fadhida goortu arkana kama guud kacee gogol inuu dhigo u dhiga gogol wagad lagu yaqaan arkana kama guud kacee gogol inuu dhigo u dhiga gogol wagad lagu yaqaan goortu arkana kama gaabsadee goraduu gashaa nabaduu guntaa arkana kama gaabsadee goraduu gashaa garab joogsado guushu hela garab joogsado guushu hela lihoobeeyo harimaadee hanahaaban dadyow geedigani guulaystiyo harimaadee hanahaaban yeelana hor socdaan isgarab taagne harimaadee hanahaaban nimciyo galab garofka loo qulayo harimaadee hanahaaban caleemaha saara gebigiinu harimaadee hanahaaban duciya ku gardaad shageeraan 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 harimaadee hanahaaban lihoobeeyo harimaadee hanahaaban dadyow geedigani guulaystiyo harimaadee hanahaaban yeelana hor socdaan isgarab taagne harimaadee hanahaaban nimciyo galab garofka loo qulayo harimaadee hanahaaban caleemaha saara gebigiinu harimaadee hanahaaban duciya ku gardaad shageeraan 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 harimaadee hanahaaban
The recently elected Somali president visited this morning the National Assembly. The Somali president Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud was warmly welcomed by the president of the National Assembly, parliamentarians, members of the government, as well as the various diplomatic representations of the country. During this courtesy visit to the Assembly, the president of the Assembly delivered a welcoming speech in which he recalled the privileged relations that unite the two brotherly countries. Then, it was the turn of the Somali president to deliver a speech. During this speech, the president of Somalia recalled that Djibouti and Somalia will always be two brotherly nations with cultural, religious, and linguistic similarities. Then, after the family photo with all the parliamentarians and the high dignitaries of the country, the president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, signed the Golden Book of the National Assembly.
meesha ku haboone yaamaali jirayay kolkay midhadhaadi gaadhay kamidoobe maankiyo qalbiga mudanayaashiye adigay kalsoonida mugale kuguma jeerteene madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka
maskaxiyo aqoon durugsan iyo garasho miisaan صعد مسؤول دعادومي قنباتها مدحويني مجراها وقبو معمولك وقانكا مسكحيو عقون طرقسانيو قرشا ميزان لي مير صعد مسؤول دعادومي قنباتها مدحويني مجراها وقبو معمولك.
In his speech on this occasion, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamad, welcomed Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud at the Djibouti People's House, and I quote, "First of all, on behalf of the National Parliament and on my own behalf, allow me to pay tribute to the brotherly Somali people who have given us their confidence by assigning you their faith for the new term at the head of the Republic of Somalia." After reiterating his thanks to the Djiboutian people and its president, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, the president of Somalia said the following.
Somalia, labada jamhuuriyadood iyo labada shacabba waxaa ka dhaxeeya waxaan birina goyn biyana aanay meerin.
After reiterating his thanks to the Djiboutian people and its president, Ismail Omar Guelleh, the Somali president said in a short anecdote that a journalist asked him what is the relationship uniting the two countries and how it can be defined. The Somali president replied that it is a relationship that no force can destroy and that no water can wash away. The Somali president recalled that he came here once as president and came back again as president. And I still have the feeling of finding my second home here, he said. The Somali president also recalled that more than any other people, the Djiboutian people shed their blood for Somalia through Hilwalal. Djiboutians are always and forever determined to stand by us. The Somali president recalled that the Third Republic was established in Arta after the great debacle and destruction of Somalia. President Hassan Sheikh stressed that Djibouti is a lesson in democracy, a reference point for moving forward, a reference in good governance and advice. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud said that he and President Ismail Omar Guelleh discussed globalization because he said no nation can do without the other. Even the great powers are present in Djibouti. As for us, the Red Sea and economic ties bring us together. The Somali president said that he had just completed a tour of countries in the sub-region, such as Kenya. We will work together, he said, for a good strategy of mutual development, he concluded. Finally, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud did not fail to reiterate his thanks to the warm welcome extended to him by his Djiboutian counterpart, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, offered yesterday evening at the Palace of the Republic an official dinner in honor of the Somali President Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, who is on a 48-hour state visit to Djibouti. Let's follow. On his arrival, the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, received his counterpart, the President of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, who is heading a strong delegation for his first visit since his re-election last May. It is in a festive atmosphere and musical animation animated by the group Haldor that the two heads of state took part in this gala dinner. The members of the government as well as the parliament, the high civil and military dignitaries of the country, the representatives of the consular and diplomatic corps affiliated to Djibouti took part in the official dinner offered by the President of the Republic in honor of his Somali counterpart.
adigay kalsoonida mugale kugu majeertane madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka
midha ka soo saaro ummadana mideeyay waa lagama maarmaane madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka
maskaxiyo aqoon durugsan iyo garasho miisaan leh miir socod mas-uul daacadoo miigan baa tahaye madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka maskaxiyo aqoon durugsan iyo garasho miisaan leh miir socod mas-uul daacadoo miigan baa tahaye madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka
xilkumaanta kowma oo ku soo maraye mugdi hawshu kaagama jirte mari taariikh toosan tashigiyo mashaawiradu waa lagama maarmaane lamalaysa shicibkaagu waa badi maqaawire xilkumaanta kowma oo ku soo maraye mugdi hawshu kaagama jirte mari taariikh toosan tashigiyo mashaawiradu waa lagama maarmaane lamalaysa soomaali waa badi maqaawire
His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Agelle during the gala dinner made a speech. Let's listen to the head of state.
madaxweynaha xasan sheekh maxamuud
We congratulate once again the recently elected Somali president. We renew our feelings of brotherhood towards our Somali brothers and its president. We are ready to work together in the areas of development, peace, and security to get our two peoples out of all kinds of difficulties. It is a long struggle to achieve this, and we also respect the long road that President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud has traveled. The Somali president has crossed many obstacles to achieve his goal of opening his country to the rest of the world in order to restore the Somalia of before. His Excellency Hassan Sheikh's motto is a Somalia at peace with itself and in good understanding with the rest of the world. We are ready to work with President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, and on behalf of the people, I ask the President Hassan Sheikh to accept the Medal of Honor, the highest award of our country. This highest distinction of its kind is a reflection of the increasingly frank and historic brotherhood between us. At the end of this official dinner, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, awarded his counterpart, the President of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, a medal. Let's follow.
madaxweyne majaraha u qabo maamulka hoggaanka dhulka meesha godan bay biyuhu dhabugu maaxdaane.
At the end of the official dinner, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, awarded to his counterpart, the President of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, the medal of the highest dignitary of the Order of the Great Star of Djibouti, which represents the highest distinction in the National Order of Merit. The President of the Republic, in a speech made for the occasion, he stressed that the leading role accomplished by the Somali President in exemplary ways for the peace and stability of Somalia, but also in the region, are the reasons for this medal, and wished him full success and achievements for his work. In other news, the permanent representative of the Republic of Djibouti to the African Union and ambassador of Djibouti to Ethiopia, His Excellency Mr. Abdi Mahmoud Haibe, took part this Saturday, July 16 in Lusaka, Zambia, his capacity as President of the Peace and Security Council of the African Union Council. Let's follow.
Of the
Peace and Security Council of the African Union Council for the month of July 2022 at the pre-launch ceremony of the Inter-Regional Knowledge Exchange Platform on Early Warning and Conflict Prevention. During the ceremony, Ambassador Abdi Mahmoud Hebe delivered a speech in which he reminded the audience that the establishment of this platform is an important step in the development of the region. That the establishment of this platform is a result of the decision taken at the second annual consultative meeting between the Peace and Security Council of the African Union and the regional economic communities and regional mechanisms held in August 21 in Addis Ababa before the said relaunching is taking place in this month of July under the Djiboutian presidency of the CPSUA. Ali Wa'ez Buh, born January 1st, 1941 in Djibouti, died last Thursday, July 15, 2022, at his home after a short illness. The deceased died at the age of 81 years. He was for a long time the first president of the Union of CAPS in the 80s. The deceased leaves behind a widow, 3 sons, 5 daughters, and 15 grandchildren. Upon hearing this sad news, the Minister of Labor in charge of Social Protection, Mr. Omar Abdi Said, sends his deepest condolence to his eldest son, Wa'ez Ali Wa'ez, local elected official of the community of Balbala, and to his entire family. May the good Lord welcome him in his vast paradise. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, parts of Western Europe continue to battle devastating forest fires this weekend, the result of a heat wave according to forecasters. That could bring down several temperature records early next week. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you once again.